Hi guys, it's FunnyAnimatorJimTV, and I've decided that I'm going to start making some chess videos again. Um, so I'm gonna play. I'm not gonna play blitz games anymore because those are not very helpful for people, and I know a lot of people do learn from some of the videos that I make. So I thought I should try to make some more classical chess videos. And also, I've noticed the opening I play, there aren't a lot of videos and resources on that opening, so I'm gonna hopefully um, provide some more resources for that opening that I play. So I'm just gonna make a 15 plus 15 challenge. And I wonder what board theme we should use. I wonder, does it change? Yeah, it does. Piece set. Oh wow, it changes right away. We can see it here. So tell me in the comments which style you like best. This is the one I'm currently using. Leechus actually added these 4 styles just, I think today, or very, very, very recently in the past few days. These 3 styles right here. These 4, I mean. This is the one I was using before they added them, and I really like this one because the outline's pretty thick, and it's very easy to tell what the pieces are. Okay, so here's a game. We've got a 1900 rated player. Let's go back to this. Yeah, let's use this one. No, this one. Okay, e4, perfect. That was loud. Okay, knight c6. So this is the opening I play. I don't call it the Nc6 defense. I just call it knight c6. That's basically what I call it. So he played knight f3. Oh, let's just play a couple moves first, just so I don't lose on time. So knight c6, main move's d4. Well, actually, knight f3 is the more popular because white's hoping that I'm going to play e5, and then, as you can see, it's back to a normal normal opening. But I played d6, and that's sort of inviting them to play d4 and take the center on move 3. And now knight f6, attacking the pawn, knight c3, and g6. So we're in a Peertz type position, or perk. So bishop e2, bishop g7. Another popular move here is bishop g4. But I learned this opening I started playing this opening for about 2 years ago, and then I sort of went on and off playing it, and then I got a book that okay, e5. So this move is definitely not definitely okay. So I'm guessing if I take it, he's gonna play d5. I'm guessing that's his idea. So if I go knight b4, I've got 1, 2, 3 guys on it. So if he takes, I'll take with this knight. No, I'll take with this one. No, that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I'm gonna take it. E5. I've never seen that before. Okay, so he takes. I'm going to exchange queens. So if he takes with a knight, okay, he does. Then knight g4, and if I go knight d7, then he might go e6, and that could be a bit disturbing. If I go knight g4, I've got 3 guys on this pawn, so that should be enough to win that pawn. So this was kind of weird, and I'm probably not going to castle now. I might castle on the queen side, just so my king is closer to the center, which is what you want in endgame. So if I castle kingside, my king is not only going to be further from the center than if he was on the queen side, but also my rook on f8 is not going to be doing much. But if I castle queenside, my king's closer, and also my rook will be on d8, where it will definitely have a much better future. Okay, so he's just, I don't know what's going on here, but he just didn't realize that I had a bishop on g7. Anyway, okay, so what are we in now? So I'm going to calm down for a minute. So I'll just go over this a little more. So bishop g7, castle is probably the h3, actually, h3. Well, no, h3 is meant to prevent bishop g4, but he already broke the pin on it with the bishop, so h3 doesn't really make much sense. Well, if he wants to put the bishop on e3, then I suppose that stops knight g4. So it could go h3, castle, bishop e3, e5, d3, knight e7, and then white can choose whether to castle kingside or queenside. The nice thing about this knight c6 perk, it's basically a perk, or Pierce, I'm sorry, Pierce. The nice thing about it is that it's always a classical perk, classical Pierce. So you see white played knight f3. Normally in the Pierce, white wants to either play f3 or f4 and launch a kingside attack. But as you can see, white put a knight on f3, and this is one of the less aggressive variations for white. So this is, that's nice for black, that black doesn't have to deal with that aggressive variation. I don't really need to explain this. e5, that pawn is just, exchange queens. That pawn is just not going to survive. Okay, so here we are. So I have a bishop, I have an extra pawn. Which pawn is that? It's this one, because it doesn't have an opponent. All the other pawns are symmetrical. So I have the bishop pair, which is nice because the center's open. You see there are barely any pawns in this center, so that's pretty good for my bishops. And you can see his knight is way backwards. His rooks are not in the game. This rook's going to take a while to get there. So first thing, I probably want to castle queenside. Well, no. I would like to have my king in the center, like up here somewhere. I probably want these pawns to be forward. I don't want a castle. What should I do? So I can play bishop f5. I can play b6, but then he might go bishop f3, and then sort of that didn't really work out too well. I can go bishop e6. That kind of blocks this pawn a lot with the two bishops in front of it, and I'd like to have this get up to e5 eventually. So if I go bishop f4 and he goes g4, I can go bishop e4. And if he goes f3, that's just, I can just drop the bishop back, and then that's what I want. So I'm going to go bishop f5. I should have looked at knight e3 a little bit more. But I just want to castle queenside. That's basically what I want to do. If he gets a rook on d1 first... Okay, so he castles, so I'm going to castle queenside. Yeah, because I get a rook onto the open file. And I'm already starting to... Okay, so he notices that. Now I can go rook d2 right now. And he might take my bishop. That might not be too bad, because then I can take over. No, he's gonna... I don't really want an opposite color bishops. I mean, because then most likely the pieces are going to start to come off. More pieces are going to start to come off. So, I think... I don't know if I want to trade this bishop for my bishop. I mean, I would have the bishop pair. I wouldn't have the bishop pair anymore. So if I go bishop e4, the two moves I'm considering bishop e4 and bishop d3. If I go bishop d3, then he probably has to take it. If he goes rook e1, then that just gives me control over the e-file. So if I go bishop d3, then I'm pretty much going to put the pawns on white squares. Probably this pawn goes on e6. Then that gives me my bishop to maneuver on the dark squares. So I'm thinking bishop d3. I'm really thinking this. If he takes, I take, and then exchange. Yeah, that should be good. Bishop d3 should be good, and then play that bishop versus knight ending. Other thing is bishop e4. Yeah, bishop d3. Looks like it restricts him a little bit more, because I'm working towards trading pieces, and he's probably going to take mine, which is what I want, because that gives me my open file. That makes me take his bishop with tempo. That's the idea. And my other rook comes out with tempo. Because if I take his rook, so if he takes mine and plays rook d1, then I'm going to take his rook, and then his knight will be backward. And then from here, I can consider, if he doesn't do anything, because his knight's protecting his rook, if he doesn't do anything, then I can play rook d2 and start trying to come after. Okay, so he took it, so I'm taking it back. Okay, so he is going to exchange. I mean, I didn't really have anything else other than taking. So now it's a bishop versus knight ending. I have an extra pawn. And at the moment, f5, basically, I should probably try to get my king active. Another thing I can do is push the a pawn all the way down to try and loosen up these guys, but he's probably going to push those forward anyway. So I think I'm going to do this. If he goes here, 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 I'm thinking f5 and e5, and then maybe e4. Or do I just get my king? Maybe I want the f pawn and e pawn like this, and then the king in front, the king in behind. I'm just curious. Okay, f5. This is what I want, because then I'm going to move this bishop somewhere. Not sure where yet, but I want my pawns on white. Okay, so he's going to come out this way. So he's putting his pawns on dark squares, which is probably a good idea. I'm just going to go forward. So he's coming after my... That was probably a good idea from him. I don't know where I want my bishop, on this diagonal or on this diagonal. Either way, my bishop's probably going to end up in the same spot. Well, if I go here, knight d3, I just want to make sure that he doesn't... Well, actually, that's not too bad. Yeah, let's keep an eye on those pawns. Just keeping an eye on them. e5. Yeah, this looks good. So if he lets me, then I'm probably gonna... No, I'm gonna push. Okay. So he didn't let me, but if he did let me, I would push forward, I think. I might look at that a little more first. So I'm going to play here, no, here. And that should be good. If he goes here, okay. I should have been trying to go this way. Dang it. Anyway. Yeah, I might have made a small mistake by going here, because if I went this way, then I could start to get into his position. Now, how do I do this? He's playing pretty quickly, also. I mean, maybe I am too. But I think, I'm not sure what the best way to do this is. I guess I'd gain space over here. Try to play b4. Yeah. This looks good. Oh no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with this. King f3. Is he gonna go g4? I don't really mind if he does that. a5. Yeah. Knight c2. Where's he go? Okay, so he let me out. Sort of. He let me come forward. Because when a piece moves, you gotta keep in mind what squares they left behind. So what does the knight not cover? d5. So why not exploit that? Now, my king's probably going to come in here. If he ever lets me trade my bishop for the knight, I am going to do that. Okay, so we brought it back. So what's my plan? I want to stay forward. Definitely. So here, if he goes b4, I take. Takes with the pawn. Then his pawn's weak. So yeah, I'm just trying to break open this sort of... Trying to just break open this structure so my bishop can get through and maybe win a pawn over here and use it. Because this pawn, my extra pawn over here, is going to defend this side. And my bishop, because you see how I put my pawns on the white squares, and the bishop is on blue, so bishop is on the dark squares, so the bishop can go in between and cover these dark squares that the pawns don't control. So I've sort of got a barrier right here. So if I need to, I can control any dark squares that I might need to, because I put the pawns on white. I'd probably like to have this pawn back here, maybe not, I don't know. So his king's coming over here, so maybe I can think about this, but probably not. So here, 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 target that b2 pawn, probably, except his knight is, if I go b4, takes, king takes, knight here. Oh, my pawn's protected by the bishop. That's convenient. So, yeah, b4. Yeah, so I'm just trying to break open this area over here so my bishop can get through, because this pawn is sort of backward. Okay, so that's still hanging. So this doesn't work because that pawn is defended by the bishop, luckily. So it is nice having a piece in the center. I hope I'm doing this right. Yeah, that bishop's guarding that pawn. And I'm going to leave it there. Here, exactly here, probably. No, I'm going to push it soon. I don't know where he's going, so just take it. And g4. Okay, so I think what he's trying to do is trying to play for a draw, maybe. I can probably honestly just leave this right here. c5. No, take it. No. So... Oh, that's hanging also. I just noticed. Yeah. Take it and take the h7 pawn. Oh, wait a second. I gotta be careful. I just realized I need to be a little careful here. If here, here... I need to be careful that I don't screw this up and draw. If I take, he goes here. c5, here. c4 takes, here. That should be winning. Because I have two pawns and his king is too far away to catch this one. Okay, I don't really know what he's doing there. Now I'm just going to push the pawn to victory. There, he resigned. Good game. Well played. So he just resigned. He's going to go for another game. Let's just take a look. I'm not going to turn the engine on because that's just going to lag it up a bunch. Let's just take a look. So I'll just show you a little bit of this. So bishop e2 is okay. Other moves, bishop c4, bishop f4, bishop g5, bishop e3. No. Yeah, bishop e3. h3. Also h3. Stopping bishop g4 if white doesn't like that. So bishop e2 is fine. Excuse me, bishop G7. They can castle. Let's say H3, because they want to put the bishop on E3 without running into knight G4. E5, D5, knight E7. Here's a little cool thing. Queen D2, knight takes E4. This is pretty cool. The idea is that this bishop can't go back, and we're going to trap it soon. So knight G5, for example, F4, and the bishop's trapped. And black exchanged a pair of pieces, which is going to help his base disadvantage. And the pieces are just a little bit better placed, like the knight pieces are a little bit more open than how they were before. So that's just something a little interesting, and hopefully maybe we'll get to see that during another video. So E5, I don't really know. Okay, just exchange the queens here, and this pawn is just it's overpowered. If he plays E6, I'm gonna take with a bishop, and I'm okay. I'm gonna castle queenside. All my pieces are out. That bishop's protecting the knight. It's just perfect. So he just gave away his bishop. So if he takes the knight, I'm still okay here, I think. I mean, the bishop has a little bit more of an aggressive standpoint right here. I'm probably going to play C6 soon, just to get off that diagonal. So if I play bishop F5, attacking the C2, I'm not drawing very good arrows. Knight E3 looks good for white. I mean, what else? What else is there? I can go B6. Although that seems... Oh no, I can go bishop E4. Right here. I can go bishop E4. This is exactly the position I was talking about. You can go bishop F3. No, I can't. So bishop E4 and I castle queenside next. If he plays rook E1, rook D1, E6, castle queenside. No, castle kingside. This might be dangerous. Actually, no, it's not. It's not dangerous at all. He's gonna lose that rook. So yeah, this looks okay if he keeps that bishop. So anyway, it got to this bishop pair ending. So he castled, and I castled queenside. That was my plan, to use this open file and to trade off this bishop, because I can use my bishops, and he just traded everything. Now we got to a bishop ending. So my king is over here, and I put the pawns on white squares. That's important. And the bishop is on a dark square. You put the pawns on the opposite color of your bishop, so that your bishop can go in between these pawns, and the pawns aren't obstructing the bishop, and also they control the white squares, and your bishop controls the dark squares. Isn't that perfect? So here, I just got this E5 move in, and generally a bishop is better in endings where there are pawns on both sides of the board. The bishop's better than the knight, because the bishop has a longer range. And now I just want to break through on the queen side and try to win one of these pawns, which I ended up doing. B4. So if he goes A4, I just take that pawn, and this pawn is going nowhere. If it moves, I can just catch it. And I win that pawn. This pawn is guarded. So that's when I realized that. And now I can just break through over here. And this is what I calculated. If king here, I can start pushing the pawn. And if he takes this one, then I go G5. Because if I go C3, he takes, and then takes, and it's a draw. It's a stalemate, because I can't checkmate him with just a bishop. So I had to watch it and make sure that I did this right. So I still have the pawns. And now he can't stop both of them. This king is not going to be able to catch this one. It's just one step ahead of the king. and if the knight tries to catch it, then this pawn is going to run forward. So this is what I calculated. So if he just tries one move, then does this. Oh, wait a second. No. He's toast here. Yeah. Let me see. I just want to make sure I checkmate him. Oh. Yeah, so if he goes there, then I pin his knight and win it. If he goes here, then I win his knight like that. If he goes here, I can also win his knight. If he goes here, I can also win his knight. Okay, so that was a pretty cool game. Just a good warm-up, first video in a while. So yeah, I like this D6. It's like a perk position. Also, I'll just do that. It's like a Pierce type position with a knight on C6. It's a classical Pierce always. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Happy check.